Hey there, guys. I am excited to talk to you today. We're going to be showcasing, I don't know why I say we, it's me, it's just me. I'm going to be showing you a store here on Redbubble, and this one is the Redneck Barbie. And this person reached out on the YouTube channel and said, hey, I'm new. I'm starting up a store, and I'd love to get some feedback from you. So absolutely, I'm happy to do that. And thank you very much for watching the channel and for liking and subscribing, and following along and being part of this community. It's great. So I've got a couple things here on this store that pops out immediately. She's joined November 2020, so relatively new because at the time of this recording, it's early 2021. There's 37 designs, there's an artist profile, and then there's 12 collections right out of the gate. So I've got some things that I'm going to be speaking about in generality, and I don't hope that you think if PN Redneck, if you're listening to this, I hope you don't think I'm talking about you personally, because I don't know you, and I'm doing some generalization here. So please forgive me. I don't want to sound like I'm mentioning you specifically. I'm just talking about new artists in general on Redbubble. And when I do, I'm talking about myself, because I used to be new, and I used to be on, new guy on Redbubble. And I know for me, like 37 designs, of course, I'm going to say this, the first piece of advice I would have for you is upload way more designs, right? And so what happens, kind of big picture, is that we upload 37 designs, 50 designs, 100 designs, and we're not getting any sales. And then we kind of poop out. We kind of feel down and we kind of get depressed and we go, oh, geez, nobody cares. And we move on to the next thing, right? So I would suggest, if you're new and if you've got 37 designs, keep going. Like strive to do like, say, 3 designs a night or even 1 design a night. If you have a weekend, maybe say I'm going to do 10 designs over the course of a weekend. And, I used to do it while I listened to a podcast, or I would do it while I listened to music, or I would do it while I watched TV. If you're just like watching the news or something, I would just like mindless, just upload stuff, right? So that's one idea. Just, you kind of have to grind it out to get up to about 200 designs, and then you start getting a sale. And then the other thing I would encourage you to is, if you get a sale, really celebrate that sale. I've done things like print off the sale and put it on my fridge. So that when I walk by it, I'm like, yeah, you know what? It was a $2 sale, but darn it, it was my $2 sale. Somebody out there somewhere bought it. And it's just a nice reminder. So a couple pieces of advice there that worked for myself personally. A thing that I wanted to point out here is just your storefront here. I really like the American flag. I love the brick. If I'm being super picky, this is a little hard to read where it says the Redneck Barbie. You may want to have like, say, bright pink font or bright yellow font or even just white font. And again, no hard feelings if you say to me, I'm not changing no font. That's great too. These are just suggestions. I'm not in any way saying it's a deal breaker. Overall, I like the idea that you've got 12 collections. Now, I think there's some people listening to this that may be going, he's going to suggest that that's too many collections, especially if you've only got 37 designs. Yeah, maybe. But, if you're going to fill up those buckets, you maybe want to shoot for having maybe 20 designs in each of the 12 collections and then see what sells. I've got about, 15, 20 collections on my Redbubble shop. And I remember at the start, I had like 3 designs in one and 3 designs in the other. I was all excited about it. So good for you that you're excited. And I would just encourage you to fill up those collections, maybe get 10 or 20 designs at least in each of those, and then really see what sells. Here we can see the design collections along the left-hand side: patriotic, nautical, face masks, skull designs, that sort of thing. And another thing I wanted to point out, and this is a common thing that I see on Redbubble. So again, please don't think I'm talking only about your store. You may, if you're listening to this podcast, think, oh, geez, I'm guilty of that too. A lot of people will put the word designs in the name of their collection. And I would encourage you to think about removing that and renaming it something that's a little more client focused. So as an example, instead of funny designs, you could put something a little more witty, like funny, and crazy, or funny and rude, or funny and, cheeky for you, something like that. The reason is there's a bit of a psychology aspect to it. When you go into a store, you have about 1/2 of 1 second to capture people's attention. And so when I look over into the collections, when I see design, when the word design, what that's telling me is, and again, this is all 1/2 of a second, this all happens, is the viewer, when they see the word design, they have a tiny little visceral reaction in their brain that goes, oh, this shop is about them. It's not about me. They're talking about their designs. They're not talking about my designs. See, when a person like Joe Schmo, the consumer, goes onto Redbubble, he's not thinking that you own a store. He's not thinking that you created the designs. He's going on Redbubble to buy a design for him, or his mom, or his girlfriend, or whoever, right? So the more you can make it client-focused, the more you can tip the scales microscopically towards the client. So I would recommend, for example, instead of patriotic designs, you might want to say, for love and country. And if you don't like that idea, maybe put for love and country and then in brackets patriotic. And then, instead of nautical designs, you could say, sailing the seas, and then in brackets nautical. Like, you can kind of name it, but then put in brackets what it's about. It gives you that little more flair, and you're looking for any little competitive advantages. Instead of dog designs, you could have, best barks, and then in brackets, dog. And, and in cat designs is, the best right meow. And then in brackets, cats. Now, I know these are awful. I mean, I'm just coming up with these on the fly. But, the idea being that you can come up with something a little bit more witty and playful, and then just put what it is in brackets afterwards. And so they go, oh, I get it, it's cat design. But when they see it, it sparks their brain a little bit, and it intrigues them. They go, oh, interesting. Like, skull design is, I'm just going to click on skull design, for example, and here we've got one that's, skull water bottle, which is great. And, for this one, I would encourage you, if you're going to put a bunch of skulls in here, maybe you want to have something instead of the word skull, you just have skulls in brackets, and then you could put something really ominous, like, not, like I have one that makes me laugh, and you've seen this on Redbubble. It's called Not So Grim Reaper, and it's like a guy with a skull, but he's like smiling. It just always makes me laugh. So you could come up with something witty like that as well. What I really like is there's some character to this store. You're not just selling a design, you're selling a brand. And that's strong. Now, I wanted to mention one thing here. I know we're living in a very, I don't know how to say it, very volatile day and age with the political designs. And so what I wanted to say was, if you're going to put patriotic designs in your store, and I'm not just talking to PN Redneck, I'm talking to anyone who's listening on this podcast. If you're going to put political designs, I would just encourage you to cover both sides of the aisle. Just have them be like all encompassing. Don't have it be completely anti one person, because what will happen is you're going to alienate half of your public, even if you don't mean to. So, for example, I have political designs in my Redbubble store, and I've got Republican, I've got Democratic, I'm from Canada, so I've got Liberal, NDP, I've got Conservative, I've got some British stuff in there, I've got local stuff. Nobody knows my political affiliation because they're going to search and they're going to go, aha, he also hates so-and-so. It's like, no, I don't. I don't really even care about politics, but I just care about selling a shirt and making $4 profit. So I would encourage you to try to just keep it neutral if possible. And again, it's just a suggestion. If someone out there is listening and they go, absolutely not, I'll never support that, great. Then just realize you're going to really alienate half your base, but the other half are really going to come for your stuff. So, and that's fine too. There's nothing wrong with that. So overall, I really like this store. I think you're off to a good start. One of the things, if I notice it says 0 followers, 0 following, and 0 favorited, one of the things that, and by the way, I really like this little piece down here. It says, thank you for your business. I love that. Many of the photos were taken by me. I love how she pumps up the Great Pacific Northwest, which I love. Beautiful part of the country. Absolutely. So this is great. One thing I would encourage you to do is maybe promote your designs on Pinterest. It's free. It's easy. You can set up some Pinterest boards, and then you can basically just, throw these designs onto your Pinterest board. I've got a video about Pinterest if you're interested. You can basically, the goal is to get up to about 10,000 followers on Pinterest, and then you can put stuff in the pipeline. Maybe 1 out of every 10 pictures that you save would be your own design. And then it sort of sits inside of your boards. But anyway, I've got a whole video on Pinterest. But overall, though, you're off to a great start. What I would suggest, I've got a couple tweaks, with the storefront, maybe with the design names, and, about keeping it neutral. But you know what? Overall, you're off to a great start. And again, and I'm totally making an assumption here, because you're at 37 designs, it may not feel like you're doing anything. You're literally just spitting into the wind and you're going, is anybody listening out there? You will get a sale someday. I mean, these designs are pretty decent. You know, this face mask that says useless as our governor, that's a pretty good seller. And, you know, it's a popular design and you could expand on that. You could times this by 50 because you could have it for every state. Have a Hawaii flag, have an Alabama flag, have a California flag. You can, you know, there's so many different variants, right? Same thing down here with the cat designs. You've got cat designs and dog designs. Well, how many different breeds of cats are there? Hundreds. How many different breeds of dogs are there? Hundreds. So you can instantly scale up the same design. You could scale it up so somebody can go, oh, I really like this. This is funny. Do they have this for Tennessee? Oh, I really like this. Do they have this for Alabama? Like whatever state they're in, right? So that's just an idea. Anyway, I hope you guys found this helpful. As always, please do like and subscribe. I love hearing from you guys, and hopefully you found this helpful. Thanks a lot.